Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back. I need your help today. Since 2021 is coming right around the corner, I want to have a fresh TBR. I want to have fresh shelves. Like, I just want to do a little bit of cleaning and decluttering for the new year. So I've decided to do an unhaul of 45 plus books, and I've got about 13 books that I am not sure if I'm gonna unhaul or not. So if you guys have any opinions on these books, let me know down below. The first two, starting off controversial, which I kind of hate when people say that, but I know The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King by Holly Black. These are very, very beloved on BookTube, and I'm sure off of BookTube as well. They are very popular young adult books. I read The Cruel Prince and enjoyed it. I believe I gave it either a 3.5 or a 4. I read it last year. I have not gotten to The Wicked King yet, but I do want to finish this series. I just didn't love it enough to own it. So I think I'm going to get the audiobooks from my library and pass these along to someone who is really going to love seeing these at the used bookstore or the library. I am going to be getting rid of books 3 through 4 and the short story collection of the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. I enjoyed this series. I think relative to a lot of people don't like this series. I really did enjoy it. I had a lot of fun with it. Even though it was kind of tropey, it was interesting and fun. But I actually just finally completed the last book this year, and it definitely decreased in enjoyment as the series went on. These books are so large, and I just do not feel like I need to have them on my shelves. I also started listening to these on audiobook when I still had an Audible subscription, so I have those audiobooks. I own them permanently. Now I use Libby. If you guys don't know about Libby, it's how you can get audiobooks for free through your library, and you don't have to pay Amazon, and it's wonderful. But before I got rid of my Audible, I do have all of these books on audio, so if I ever do want to revisit them, I can do it that way and just pass these along. I am getting rid of The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I read this first book and it was fine. I tried to get into the second one, didn't love it. It's just not for me. I think I held on to this because people have such a high opinion of it, and I'm just gonna pass it along. Maybe someone else will find it even more enjoyable than I did. I have a couple of classics. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde I didn't love. I read it. And Canary Row by John Steinbeck. I haven't actually read this, but this copy is actually like pretty beat up. It got some water damage. So I think I'm going to pass this along, and if I ever feel like picking it up again, I might get a new copy or get it from the library. We have The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton. This book has been on my TBR since 2013, and I haven't read it. It's a really big historical fiction that takes place in New Zealand, and honestly, it's been so long. I've been wanting to read it. I haven't been wanting to read it, obviously, because I would have read it by now. I'm gonna donate this, and if I really want to read it, I'll get it from the library. I'm going to pass along Pumpkinheads by Rimbaud Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. This is a cute, fun, fall-themed graphic novel, but it just was fine to me. It's not something I want to hold on to. I'm going to get rid of The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I read this. It was fun. It was a good mystery. I predicted one of the twists, but not all of the twists, and I just don't want it anymore. I don't want this book anymore. I'm getting rid of some Harry Potter books, 1, 6, and 7 from this set. I'm unhauling my Paper Girls volumes 1 through 5 graphic novels by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, because I just don't feel like owning a ton of graphic novels. It's just not something. I do enjoy these, and I probably will continue on with it, but it's not a series that I feel like I need to have in my collection. None of these are like I'm unhauling because I hate. Getting rid of Gemina and Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I am keeping Illuminae because I think that one was the best out of the 3, but I never really see myself revisiting these sequels. All right, I'm getting rid of Three Sides of a Heart, which is stories about love triangles. This is a similar reason to The Luminaries. I've had it for probably 4 years and haven't picked it up. And if I'm being honest with myself, if I really wanted to read it, I would have picked it up by now. All right, some TBR book that I'm getting rid of that I have no interest in anymore. Wild Beauty by Anne-Marie McLemore. Casino Royale and Live and Let Die by Ian Fleming. These are James Bond books. Dear Haiti, Love Elaine by Micah Moulit and Maritza Moulit. Havenfall by Sarah Holland. This is an ARC, so I will not be selling this. I will be passing it on to someone who might want to read it. The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien. Honor Among Thieves by Rachel Kane and Anne Aguirre. Daughter of Deep Silence by Carrie Ryan. And Someone Knows by Lisa Scottoline. I have 3 poetry books that I read and didn't love, to be honest with you. So Whiskey Words in a Shovel by R.H. Sin. Pretty problematic from what I've heard. Depression and Other Magic Tricks by Sabrina Benaim. And Dropkick Romance by Cyrus Parker. I am gonna get rid of The Wicked Saints by Emily Duncan. I enjoyed this book and I think I will continue with the series, just not enough to own it permanently forever. All right, we've got a couple more TBR books that I'm not interested in anymore. State of Wonder by Ann Patchett and Jay-Z by Michael Eric Dyson, Made in America. I am going to get rid of The Lost Symbol by Dan Brown. I did enjoy this book, but don't feel like I'm ever gonna reread it. If I do, I might get it in a smaller edition, but for right now, let's pass it on. And then we have The Beautiful and the Damned by Renee Ahdieh. Just a series. I have read The Beautiful and I got like maybe a quarter of the way into The Damned, and it's just not a series that I vibe with. The Beautiful was okay. Honestly, I can't tell you anything about it. And The Damned, I found myself slogging through it to get to the end. So I was like, ooh, are you actually enjoying this? And I decided I wasn't. So I'm sure there's someone out here that will appreciate this beautiful set coming together. The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. I've heard actually pretty bad things about this one, so I think I'm just gonna pick up Ruth Ware's from now forward because I have read a couple of her books that I really enjoyed, but I've heard this one is pretty rough, as well as The Lying Game, so I think I'm gonna skip it. Commonwealth by Ann Patchett falls under the TBR I'm not interested in anymore. Blah, 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 blah. I am getting rid of the Rebel of the Sands trilogy by Alwyn Hamilton. I read Rebel of the Sands a few years ago, liked it, probably like a 3-star, 4-star read, and I have yet to pick up the last 2, and there are some other Middle Eastern inspired fantasy stories that I think I would rather pick up than the sequels for this. Maybe I'll get to it eventually. I have it in 2 years, so pass it along. Let's pass it along. I'm getting rid of The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. I've had this I think since it came out. Yeah, I've had this since 2018 and I gave myself this October to finish it because spooky season, and I didn't prioritize it, so I'm not gonna read it. Getting rid of it, passing it along. We love that phrase in this video. Let's get into the Trash My TBR. Should I get rid of these? Should I keep these? Portion of the video, starting with How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. I actually bought this because I love his nonfiction work, and I saw this, I was like, oh, he has a fiction book, but I don't really know much about it. So I'm curious, after reading the back, when I was like going back through these books, after reading the back, I was like, this might be interesting, but I'm curious what y'all think if you guys have read any of his fiction work, to see what you think about it. Then we have The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X. R. Pan. I've heard really good things about this as a hard-hitting contemporary, YA contemporary. However, that genre I just do not really reach for much anymore. So I'm curious if I should hang on to this and give it a go, or maybe I should pass it along. We have All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. This is a historical fiction. I don't reach for historical fiction very often, but I'm wondering if this book is good enough that for when I'm in the mood for historical fiction, then it will be right there and I'll be good to go. This book I've fluctuated on so much, and that's The Demon King by Cinda Williams-Chima. Heard really great things about her and her writing and what she's done for the YA fantasy genre, but I've owned this forever and I haven't picked it up yet. So I'm not sure if I should keep it or not. I don't know. We have Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. This is a fairly recent YA fantasy. I think last year, 2019, it came out. Yes. And it seems really interesting. I heard a lot of people talk about this book and put it on their TBRs, but I haven't heard many reviews or anything like that surrounding this book. If it was good, if it wasn't good, I don't know. I'm on the fence about getting rid of it or not, because it seems like a very interesting premise. I have two books that literally I do not want to get rid of because the covers are so pretty. This is what I would want my covers to look like if I ever had a book series, and that's Even the Darkest Stars and All the Wandering Light by Heather Fawcett. I bought this one when it came out, so I've had this since 2017. I saw the sequel at the used bookstore and I was like, I'm gonna read this and love this eventually, so why not? But again, I haven't heard much about these series. They're kind of under the radar YA fantasy, so I'm curious to see if anyone has read them, if you think they are worth keeping for more than just the covers. Ooh, we have a controversial one. Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. A lot of people love this book. A lot of people don't love this book. And there are people that I trust that don't love this book. So that's why I was thinking maybe I should just skip this one. But there's something about the way people talk about this book when they love it that just draws me in and just makes me want to be on that level. They make me want to love it as much as they do. I don't know, guys. What do you think? The next two books I'm going to hold up at the same time because my reason for putting them in this stack is very similar. And that is The Crown of Feathers by Nikki Powell Prado and Sky Without Stars by Jessica Brody and Joanne Rendell. Both of these books I've had on my TBR for quite a bit, and I've actually gotten both of these on audio from my library multiple times and have just never jumped into it and let the library loan lapse, probably at least twice for each of them. So that makes me think, do I really want to read these? But again, there's something that's making me want to stick around, so I'm curious what your thoughts are. And last but not least is The Midnight Lie by Marie Rudkowski. Again, haven't heard much about this after its release, so I'm just curious what people's thoughts are, if they liked it, if they didn't like it, what the vibe is with this book. Should I get rid of it? Should I keep it? Let me know in the comments. So that is it for my unhaul / trash my TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.